What's up, Team KBA? One Tech Traveler here in Seoul, South Korea. Now, today I'm going to share my final thoughts using Able Carry's Daybreaker 2 as my backpack. It's a 25-liter ultralight carry, so it's definitely intended for those that want a very lightweight shell to house all of your internal tech and activity essentials, and gives enough functionality for your day-to-day too. I'm going to give you a quick tour on what you get in the Daybreaker 2, some of the features and some reference talking points after having had some time with Able Carry's 13 2024, what I love about it and also what I think could be improved. So keep it locked here in this review. You can find my full written thoughts on Daybreaker 2 on my website. So check it out at onetechtraveler.com. And if you think the Daybreaker 2 is right for you or you want to see the rest of Able Carry's range, then I'll put the links down below. Without further ado, this is Able Carry's Daybreaker 2. Let's get started. So let's talk Daybreaker 2. Now, first off, this comes in two material choices. The one you see here in my hands is the X-Pack X42 and it's a single color olive green. We've also got a Kujura Rips Up nylon, which is available in black, but both of them share the same gray internal lining that we'll see in a moment. In terms of dimensions, they're both the same. So this is 50 centimeters tall, 26 centimeters wide, and 19 centimeters deep. So more of a taller type of backpack, but it's still wide enough. I quite like it, especially if you don't like very chunky or wide bags. This is going to feel a bit more narrower and streamlined in the hands. Now, depending on the material you choose, they're going to weigh slightly different. The Kujura nylon is slightly lighter at 660 grams, whereas the X-Pack X42 slightly heavier, but not much, at 712. In relative terms, these are still very lightweight bags, and that's kind of the main premise of the Daybreaker 2. It strips away some of the materials that kind of make Able Carry's other bags feel more premium. But if you like the trade-off of having less material, less padding, less protection, besides wear is essential, like the back supports we'll look at in a moment, for a much lighter carry shell, then yeah, this is quite a good option to go for. I'm normally not a green person. This olive green actually looks really nice. I like the darkened shade compared to the Coyote brown, which is a much brighter palette. I'm a big fan of Able Carry's 13 with the navy and beige combination. Hopefully something that they'll bring across, but in the meantime, quite a nice color to look at. Packed down is really thin profile. I really like that, especially if you want to use this as a secondary carry option for your trips or inside your luggage. It's going to take very little space, especially on the weight side. On the rear, we've got the same X-Pack material, but we do have two raised areas around the spine. It helps with ventilation down in the middle channel, but also acts as a nice support when you're hiking or having this in a higher tension on the shoulder strap. I tend to like my bags hugging my body. It's still going to feel fairly breathable because it's slightly raised. We've got some triangular stitching that feels a lot more sturdier rather than the zigzag of the previous models, and overall just a nice cleaner look. Shoulder straps have that mesh panel and it contrasts with that black, but that's kind of it for the back. Some webbing that serves as a lightweight handle. So we've got one on the top here, and we've got two that kind of sits very flush against the body, one on this side and one on this side. Oh, I nearly forgot. There's one side pocket here. It's really flush against this side webbing handle. but you can see the zip hole. If we open that, that's going to give you some additional front end space for you to dock small bits. We also have a nice gated tether loop, so that Joey pouch I had earlier, I can kind of gate that through here. And it's just nice for like car keys, some essentials you want to keep. You can take it out of the bag and use it, but it still stays secure to the bag. Once you finish, you can slide that back in. Otherwise, you can put like your phone, some wallets, little bits of change or bits of paper that can slide in. The external bottle pocket, if you are going on a hike or adventure, you want to easily access your drinks. 32-ounce bottle. It's gonna kind of fit, but really eats into the interiors. Depending what you're carrying, it might not be the best option. Putting it inside, it just feels a bit more safer. But you do have the option. And again, it's great for umbrellas, table tripods, vlog sticks, and slim bottles. Like in the updated models, we no longer have those two eyelet holes for drainage. It's built into the panel. We've got a slight slot in where it's stitched, and that's going to give you some drainage if you're caught out in the rain, spillages of your drink. It comes into here and it's going to move into this little hole that you might see just right here. There you go. I've always found the clipping options to be pretty good on able carries, and the Daybreaker 2 is no different. If you have carabiners like to clip everything or want more external carry options on your bag, then you'll find a few neat ones here. You'll find one on this side, and it's just literally a black webbing loop for you to attach one. We've got another one at the end of this zip track that's pretty much level with the other side, so one on the left, one on the right. And then we have another at the bottom of this zip track. On the bottom, we have a gusseted panel, so it can stay flat, but if you need the extra space or start filling out with more thicker items, then this does expand well. And while it can't sit on its own, it can sit on a table or stand up when you fill out the bottom. These black trims also serve as hidden attachment points. You can kind of lift one webbing off if you didn't know, on this side, and also on this side, on these side as well. So you've got 2, 4, 7 in terms of clipping or attachment options. Have something underneath like a mat, camping tools, a tripod. You'll just need some extra strapping to hook them around it, but you can definitely do it. And you've got 2 little bits here. So I guess a total of 9, but this set kind of helps to clip things together if you're looking to run something underneath the Daybreaker 2. Now, both the Cordura Ripstop nylon and the X-Pack material have nice weatherproofness. Both of these are at least water resistant, so light showers or getting caught out, it's not going to soak through into your gear. So these are going to perform well, which you'd want in outdoor focus type of backpacks. But technically, the X-Pack should perform bit better than the Cordura Ripstops, and this is technically waterproof. X-Pack is a composite 3-layer material, and the bottom of that has a laminate or like a sailcloth. So this is fully waterproof and is going to perform much better. The Cordura Ripstop might be more of a durable option. We've also got weather sealed YKK AquaGuard zippers, and it's in a contrast glossy finish, more of a dark green. So I like how Able Carries try to match it closer to the olive green of the X-Pack compared to the black trims that you see here. And the top part kind of folds on itself, more of a design choice, but also helps with expanding and really making full use of the interior. The zipper takes some getting used to since it kind of wraps around. You see it starts sort of up and then it kind of goes around the corners, horizontal towards the top, and then down. So you do want to have a good hold on the bag if you want to open it smoothly. But these are high quality YKK zippers, AquaGuard with Hyperlon pull tabs all the way down. This is the opening system of the Daybreaker 2. Able Carry has been pretty good here when it comes to that zip track. It gives us bright access without making this too flimsy or like dangling away. It kind of holds it in this corner. I can stretch the material out since it is not that thick, and hopefully it gives you a deep enough look into the interior. So we've got full use of this main compartment. It's very packing cube or cube friendly. You can stack a multitude of things, and I like because of its 50 centimeter height, you don't have a bottomless pit trying to go from the top that makes it difficult to see and reach. this type of opening is pretty nice. This meshy zip pocket is fairly stretchy and it's kind of away from the X-Pack interior. So if you're packing heavier or thicker things, then this can sort of like stretch away and make full use of the top section. It's also YKK, and we've got some quite nice zip pull as well. We've got this stretchy divider section, and this provides some functional use for your day-to-day, so you can store a laptop comfortably, a 14-inch, maybe to a 15, 16 if it's not thick. You can fit them all in here. There's no separate divider for like a tablet like in the 13 or the Daily Plus. This doesn't offer much protection. It's really just as a lightweight divider. It sits all the way down to the bottom, which is great for making full use of the space, but it's not suspended, which means the bottom is not padded, and you probably want to provide your own type of laptop sleeve if you do want to make sure any accidental bumps, accidental drop. You've got a lot of depth to work with: packing cubes, camera cubes, tech organizers, your lunchbox, water bottles. You can throw them all in here. The interior lining is a ripstop. Now the top part's access to the backpack stiffener, and you can take it out. Is literally just this piece of like foam. So this is what primarily provides a lot of that padding, protection, and cushioning. If it kind of gets worn down, then technically you could repair it, but it's nice they're given access to it so you can kind of refresh it over time if you need. I've never had to. And then like this front part, we've got this lid that kind of hides away the second zipper. And this is where you can throw in some of your smaller essentials. You can put your wireless earbuds, cables, chargers. It's fairly deep and sits just above the divider, so it's not going to get in the way of your laptop, and it's nice for just some of your small casuals. You can also use it here too, but bear in mind, because the lid is really, thin, there's no interior lining on this. It's literally just the raw laminate of the X-Pack underneath for that waterproofness. Then if you do pack this heavy, then it's kind of collapse inwards rather than holding its shell. So just bear that in mind. 3 additional attachment points inside, one here, and then another one on the top there. And that can provide you some internal attachments, key rings, key charms. You can also put their little Joey pouch and just get some hook or clip. And then finally, we have one small vertical drop pocket. Kind of have to pull away against the material to really stretch the opening. Table tripod, selfie stick, a thin umbrella, and a slim bottle. They can all sit inside there. So that is literally all of the features in a nutshell. I'll just kind of show some of the ways how I like to gear this up. So we've got it flat packed here. One of the options you have, just getting a packing cube. This is a full-on cube that can sit in one compartment of a carry-on luggage. Because it's very tall, you can fit this and still have space for another organizer. I've got my camera cube here, and this is actually enough to fit my body and a 50mm lens 85. And because it's tall, it holds all of that really well. So that's one option. If you're looking to carry another pair of shoes, you can also do it at the top here. It's fairly expansive and accommodates it for a full travel packing setup. If I'm looking more of a day-to-day, then I might take my camera cube. I've also got a tech organizer, and it sits just like that. Get my 14-inch laptop. You can see my laptop there. And I can do a few things. I can either bring my 7200 telephoto lens, and I can kind of sit on top like here, and you can see that will comfortably fit. Alternatively, I can kind of put things sideways, and that would make space for my drinks bottle. Take my 32-ounce bottle, and like I mentioned, this will not fit in the drop pocket because it's just too tight and fighting against the exterior one. So I'm gonna put it on the right side, like here. Get my camera cube instead of here, I can put it this way, and that will sit right next to the bottle, right next to it. And then I've still got my tech organizer, and that can sit on top like so. Wrap it all up, And there you have it. This is what it looks like in a full load. Again, you've got these pockets, but it's kind of really compressed now, very difficult to use. So you have to kind of pick and choose which pockets you want. But if I'm going more for an internal type of setup, then you can see the tall nature of it really makes stacking very well and much more capable. Packing cubes and type of organizers really help mold this into the setup that you need. But if they're not in organizers or cubes, then you're gonna kind of have to make sure that they don't scratch each other. I can still make use of this since it's a bit more expansive. I can put my travel speakers like so. It's all underneath. And even with that, you can see it's nicely packed. It still maintains a really thin profile, which is what I like about the Daybreaker 2. If you have a lot of space in the main body, then you'll actually find this kind of like sink in. Overall, looks pretty good. Gojo Senpai from JJK. I can just personalize and clip it here. So on the side, I've got this. You can also hero clip, you know, your carabiner bottle. If it's got a loop, you can also attach your travel blanket, your pillows, pretty much anything you can hook onto these. It gives you a few options. So that is my setup of the Daybreaker 2. It came with me on my recent trip to Cebu, Philippines. I went to Boal, which is 3 hours down from Cebu City. Great if you want to go snorkeling out in the ocean. And also just some recent outings around South Korea for casual hiking. And the Daybreaker 2, true to its name and what it's intended for, makes for a really nice lightweight carry, but it's got a lot of capacity. For me, I've used a lot of packing cubes and also camera cubes for my high-tech equipment. It's protected in those, but even my telephoto lens, I kind of have it sitting on top, and I like the tall nature of the Daybreaker 2, which makes stacking and packing this really enjoyable. There's a lot of capacity in this, even though it doesn't look it. So if you want to be more deceiving to the eye and carry lots of stuff, especially as like a carry-on or as a personal item, this is a nice one to travel with. Granted, you are compromising on the padding and protection, so you have to bear that in mind, but for its 0.7 kilogram weight, super lightweight, then it means you've got more allowance to work with. This wouldn't be my main choice when it comes to day-to-day tech essentials. I do like the 13 by Able Carry, which is a lot smaller, but it's got the right kind of padding protection for my laptop, for all of my tech essentials I want to bring to a cafe. So if that's more for what you're looking to do and you're carrying more tech stuff and you just want your bag to do the job with the protection, then you might want to consider at least the Daily Plus, or the 13 day packs. But this works nice as a nimble, lightweight outdoor hybrid. It stays pretty secure with just one main zip port and just a hidden side pocket. So if you're looking to travel with this, it's also quite nice. You can use these clip attachments with the zip pores as a security lock. Very comfortable with these well padded and ventilated mesh shoulder straps. I'm 183 centimeters tall and I've got fairly broad shoulders. So if you're someone like me, then the shoulder straps sit very well. The back support, surprisingly quite minimal and essential with just this spinal padding. Having it really tight against my body, it wasn't putting a lot of unnecessary pressure or tension on my back. You don't get any additional pockets on the back, which while it would be nice, also I don't mind it. The only thing I would like is some kind of drop pocket on the top here. It does feel slightly missing on this when I don't want to go into the main compartments. I would like a few more external pocket options. While it's fairly intuitive to use, you can kind of swing the bag sideways and I can drop in my mobile phone. It's not that big enough for your essentials, so it kind of is the option while I like here, but this just feels a bit more natural for me. The only downside of when I'm using this pocket, it really eats away into the overall usage of the pockets inside. And that's kind of my main gripe with the Daybreaker 2. It's very limited with pockets in the first place. So you do want to make the most of them, but you find the pockets fighting each other. That not only renders some of the pockets even like useless because you've kind of stuffed or made use of one. I've got my Joey pouch. I can also fit my phone in here, a 6.8 inch phone. slides in comfortably, so I like how it's useful for that. But if we flip that over, you'll notice it's on the same side as the drop water pocket. If you're making use of that, it really compresses the front end. It's very unusable, so you kind of have to pick one or the other. Making the stretchy pocket slightly looser to accommodate more bigger items would be great. But two, even if they moved it on the other side, it's not gonna fight much. You know, you've got the external pocket here. However, if I'm not using the external pockets, then it gives me the room here and this to breathe. Having two pockets like in the 13-day pack would also be cool, since it's slightly cheaper, but I find that's got more usability even if it's a smaller bag. So while I like the main cavity or the main shell when it comes to packing cubes and stuff, you don't get that much storage in the Daybreaker 2 built in, so having a few more options in here would be great. Even on the lid panel, this is just the laminate or sailcloth of the X-Pack. Just even having another drop pocket here would just increase amount of options. Everything else feels pretty good. Again, it's a balance of keeping the weight down. It's minimal, it's lightweight, it's got good volume. It's not your full-on or full-fledged like outdoor backpacks, whereas the Daily Plus and the 13 backpack are more of your everyday lifestyle with the ability to kind of use it for, you know, outdoorsy stuff if you wanted to. This is more of an outdoor oriented type of backpack that gives you enough for your day-to-day. So depending which side you sit on, then you'll see whether the Daybreaker 2 is right for you. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Able Carry's Daybreaker 2. Really enjoyed this one, and it's a nice variation from Able Carry's Daily Plus, Daily, the 13, and the Max backpack. I think this slots in very nicely and hits some of those use scenarios where you want something very lightweight, very compact, and a nice exterior shell to kind of mold and fit some of your gear setups. It isn't perfect, and I would like to see a bit more usable pockets and not fighting between the two as you start using, especially since pockets in here are much fewer. But for the most part, I really like the tall and narrower. That feels a bit more agile, nimbler when I'm moving around. I'd also like to see more color options, whether it's the X-Pack or the Kajura ripstop nylon versions, like you see in the rest, especially the navy and the cream. And if they end up updating the interior lining to match the olive green on, say, the new 13 with more of a beigey interior, I think it's also going to add to the aesthetic appeal and premium feel of this, considering it's more expensive. Well, we'll see what Able Carry has in store for future versions of the Daybreaker. Also like to hear your thoughts, what you think of the Daybreaker 2. Check out my full written review on my website at onetechtraveler.com. Now, if you found this video useful and think the Daybreaker 2 is the right bag for you, or you're interested in checking out Able Carry's range, then support the channel by using the links down below, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace.
For something beyond